We want to express this thing here into a partial fraction, right? So here we are having x minus 9, everything divided by x squared plus or 5x minus 6, right? So we are going to express this thing into a partial fraction. The most important thing is that you must know what is at the denominator, right? So what I mean by what is at the denominator here is what is at the down here. Is that okay? What is at the down here is the most important thing, right? So here we are having a quadratic by name a quadratic. So for you to know how to solve this, you must have the idea on how to solve x plus 1, and then let's say assuming what you are having at the die x minus 2, and then x plus or plus 1, something like this, right? The idea here is that you must know how to solve this. So from here you can move to something on this nature, right? So here for you to know how to solve this thing, maybe you should have the idea on how to solve a simple fraction 1 on 2 plus of, let's say, 1 on 3, right? So this is a fraction, so it's just a step by step. Once you know how to solve this and you know how to deal with something like this, you can easily solve this, right? So if you want to see how to deal with some of these things, we have a video on that, so make sure that you check our playlist and then subscribe to the channel for more. If you are having any problem with this thing, just try and comment in the comment section below. Your first step is to simplify this thing into a two simple factors. So for solving this thing, you have to use the factorization method, right? So you are going to use the factorization method to solve this method. Some people use Z, right? So whichever the spelling may be. But here the key here is that you have to factor this thing into two simple method by using the factorization. Once again, you have a full video on what a quadratic equation, so you may check that. But here if you simplify this thing, you are going to have x plus 6 and then x minus 1. Okay, these are the two factors. The way of solving this thing is what on our playlist on the quadratic, so you may consider checking that before you come back here. So once you have these the two factors here, we can easily proceed from this point. So here we are going to have a constant a here and then another constant. These two guys are just the numbers that we are going to find in just some few seconds. So make sure that you stay to the end of the video. Now, how do you solve this? If you know how to solve a simple fraction, additions of a fraction, this thing should be something you'll be familiar with. So here we are going to find the least common multiple among these two denominators, which of course is going to be what? The x plus 6 and then what? X what minus 1, right? So here we are going to use this, and this thing will cancel it. So go into this one, they will cancel out, and then we have a here multiplied by what? The x minus 1, right? So that is what we are going to have. So plus, or here we are going to have our b multiplied this one and this one cancel out, right? So you know how to do that addition with of fractions. So here we are going to have s plus 6. Okay, these are the two things. So what are we going to have at the left hand side here? So here as it is, we have x minus 9, everything divided by x squared plus 5s, and then minus 6. So okay, what are we looking for? What is our aim here? Our aim is to find the values of the a here and then find the values of the b. Is that okay? That is for our target. If that is the case, we are just going to equate the numerator. So numerator, the guys at the top here, right? So we are just going to equate. We don't have any business with the guy at the down here. These two people, we don't have any business with them. Our aim is to determine the values of the a and then the values of the b as well. So for that reason, equating what the numerator, we have the x minus 9, that is equal to a into bracket s minus 1 plus bx plus. If you've already watched this video, this should be something simple from this point. So maybe you may pause and go and check that video and come back and come and see how best we are doing this thing. Okay, now here, what is our next target? So our next target here is to find the values of the a and b. So what will happen if I give you only this one, right? So assuming the b part is not there, so we are having the x minus 9, that is equal to a into bracket s minus minus 1. So that thing can be easily solved once we know the values of this x, the guy here. Okay, if that is the case, then we are going to make one of these things goes to 0, so here can be 0. So this place can only be 0, or maybe we want to eliminate this part so that we can easily solve the 1 here, right? So what are we going to do? So we are going to solve the 1 in the bracket here, meaning that our x plus or 6 equal to 0. This means that x is equal to negative 1, right? If x is equal to negative 1, you plug this x equal to negative 6, right? So negative 6 here, you plug this negative 6 into this equation, right? So that is the key. Why are we doing that? We are doing that for this guy to vanish so that we can easily solve the one with the a part. So that simply means that so here, whatever you see the x, you are going to replace that with one negative 6. So here we are having negative 6 minus 9, that is equal to a here. Here is going to be negative 6 and then minus 1 plus or b into bracket negative 6 plus or plus 6, right? So you can say that here we are going to have a 0 here. So 0 multiplied by this one gives me 0, right? So everything here goes to 0. So here we are going to have negative. Here we have a negative 15, right? So that is equal to, here we are going to have a negative 7, right? So negative 7a multiplied by the a. Is that okay? So we are looking for the values of the a, meaning that we are going to divide both sides by negative 7. So dividing here by negative 7 and divide here by negative 7, this one cancel out. We have our a to be equal to negative 15 on what? Negative 7, which will be equal to 15 on what? On 7. Okay, so this is the values of the a. So what about the b? The b also goes with the same procedure. Is that okay? So the b, finally looking for the b, you have to make sure that this guy here goes to 0, right? So the way this guy can go to 0 is by solving the one in the bracket here. So you have x minus 1 equal to 0. So this means that our x is equal to 1, right? So whatever we are going to see the x here, we are replacing that by what? Just 1, right? So here we start from here. We have what? 1 minus 9, that is equal to a into bracket 1 minus 1, right? And then plus of b here, we have 1 plus or plus 6. Okay, so here goes to 0, right? Can you see that this place here simply goes to 0 because 1 minus 1 will give us a 0. So here is going, we are going to have negative 8, right? So negative a here tends to be 0, and then here we have b into bracket 7, right? So that is 7b. So we are looking for the b. So here we divide both sides by what? 7. So 7 and then 7. This one cancel out. So meaning that we have our b to be equal to negative 8 on what? Yeah, right? Negative 8 on 7. So these are the two numbers that we are having. So what do you do from this point? So these are the two values of the a and b that we are having. So at the beginning of the video, this was how we express this partial fraction into a over what? The factors of this quadratic, that is the x plus b, and then here what? X what? Minus b. So we are going to replace that. So whatever you see the a here, a is going to be 15 on what? On 7, everything being divided by x plus or plus 6, and then plus the b was what? Negative 8 on 7, so everything on what? X or minus 1. So you have to rewrite this one. This one can be simply written as what? 15 on what? 7 being multiplied by x plus 6, right? So if you want to see how I'm writing this, this is just a fraction, right? So this thing can be something like 15 on 7 multiplied by 1 on what? X plus plus 6. Is that okay? So yeah, this thing can be written something like this. So that was how simple you can rewrite this fraction here. So here we are going to divide. So here tends to be a negative. So pay close attention to negative. So here is going to be negative 8 on what? 7 being multiplied by x what? Minus 1. So this is how simple you solve this. If you get some value from it, once again, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Comment down below if you have any question. If you are still here to the end of the video, then check this. If you have something like this, 2 into bracket, let's say down here you have the x squared minus 4. How do you solve this? You want to express this into a partial fraction, right? The most important thing here is the denominator. So the denominator here can be written as two factors. That is between x minus 2 and everything here by what? X plus 2, right? So here we are going to have x plus 2. You should know how to solve this thing here. This is just a quadratic. Simplify this thing into 2 and then replace the values of the a and b here. Alright, so and then solve that just like the similar procedure that we've already solved.